Hello viewers, so in this video we're going to look at how to solve simultaneous equations. If the question is to you solve for x and y, if let's say for this one, let's take it for starters, 3 to the power of x multiplied by 2 to the power of y equals to 12. How would you solve something like this? Okay, you know that 3 is a factor of 12 and 2 as well is a factor of 12. Let's see how it goes. Take your calculator, press this guy on your calculator, that is 12. You press 12 equal sign so that 12 appears twice on your calculator. Now you take shift fact. You're going to have 3 to the power of x multiplied by 2 to the power of y. That be equal to 3 times 2 to the power of 2. This is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So we didn't change anything. We just rewrote the equation as it is, so that we can clearly see that, 3 to the power of x is equals to 3, and 2 to the power of y is equals to 2 to the power of 2. Okay, and then from here we can conclude and say our x is 1 because the power here of 3 is 1, and our y is 2 because if you have same basis you equate the exponents. Okay, same applies to this one. We have same basis, we equated the exponents, that is x and 1. We say x equals to 1. Okay, let's look at the other one. And number 2 says solve for x and y that will make x squared plus 2y squared to be equal to 9. And at the very same time, the very same x and y that you got from there, when you use them and say x plus 2y should give you 5 this time around. What are those values? Now let me teach you a recipe for this meal, because most of the meals have their own different recipes. This one you want to first write equation 1 and 2, okay, so that you don't lose the marker along the way. So we're going to indicate which one is our equation 1 and which one is our equation 2, then we can proceed from there. We say we have x plus 2y equals to 5 to be equation 1, and then you have your x squared plus 2y squared to be equal to 9. This you name it your equation 2. From here you proceed and target x to the power of 1. You target 1 x to the power of 1. You want to make that one a subject of the formula. Okay, it's easy to make the one that has coefficient 1 x to the power of exponent 1 the subject of the formula. So we target that one and make it the subject of the formula. So we say our next step is from equation 1. From our equation 1, we say x is equals to 5 minus 2y. Okay, now we're going to replace in this equation that we did not use yet, equation 2. We're going to use on that equation, everywhere we see x we plug 5 minus 2y. Okay, so let's open a bracket for every place of x. We open a bracket and say we have x squared, that is bracket squared, plus 2y squared, that should give us 9. Okay, now in this bracket what do we put? We put what? The value of x. The value of x is nothing but 5 minus 2y, so we put 5 minus 2y here. Remember, the value of x is 5 minus 2y, our equation 3. Okay, you must indicate it as equation 3. It's not necessary for you to indicate this one is equation 3, but if you don't want to lose yourself, you can just please proceed and indicate them. Okay, now let's proceed. We say from this equation now we have only one unknown that we can solve for, that is the value of y. Let's solve for the value of y now. we have 5 squared there. Okay, that will give us 25. And then we have minus 2 times 5, that is minus 10. So, but we have it twice, that is minus 20y. And then you have minus 2y all squared, that is plus 4y squared, plus 2y squared, that is here, we don't leave it out. And then we have equals to 9. Okay, from here we proceed and say we collect like terms. Now we have 4y squared and 2y squared there. They will give us 6y squared. And then we have minus 20y, does not have its like term. What we do is we just write it as minus 20y. And then we have 25, and then we take 9 to the other side. So we have plus 25 minus 9, that is plus 16. That will be equal to 0. From here, we have a quadratic equation with a variable y. Now let's just divide by 2, the highest common factor that is in all of these three terms. Let's divide by that 2, and then to make it more simple for us to factorize. So we divide by 2 here, we get 3y squared minus 10y, and then plus 8. That should give us 0. Okay, from here we say 3 times 8. 3 times 8, that should give you 24. You are looking for the factors of 24. When you add them, you get 10. Let's look for those factors of 24. When you add them, you get 10. So we have 24 times 1. We have 12 times 2. And then we have 6 times 4. Have we arrived? Yes, we are looking for these ones. When we add them, they must give us 10. When we multiply them, they must give us 24. These are 6 and 4. So we want to write 3y squared. And then we want to write 6 next to 3. So we can write 6y and then 4y plus 8 equals to 0. Now, 6y and 4y, okay, they have the same signs because of this positive sign. And the signs are both negative. The signs are both negative because of this negative sign right there, okay? Now, we group the first two and the last two. We say we open a bracket, we put 3y squared minus 6y. We close the bracket, we put a negative outside of the bracket. We open the bracket, everything that follows changes the sign because of the negative that we put outside of the bracket. That is 4y, positive 4y, negative 8. We close the bracket, that should be equal to 0. From here, we take out 3y as a common factor from the first bracket. We write 3y. We open the bracket, we are left with y minus 2. We close the bracket, and then we subtract. In the second bracket, we have a common factor of 4. We take that 4 outside. We open the bracket, we have y minus 8 divided by 4. That should give you 2. Now we close the bracket and then we equate to 0. From the first term and the second term, you have a common factor there. If you can see, it's y minus 2. We want to take that y minus 2 out as a common factor. We write y minus 2. We close the bracket, and then we are left with, from the first one, divide by y minus 2, you are left with 3y. And then from the second one, divide by y minus 2, you are left with minus 4. We close the bracket, that should be equal to 0. Okay, from here, we can just proceed and say For this to be true, we have our y minus 2 as 0, or our 3y minus 4 as 0. Okay, from the first one we get the value of y to be 2, and from the second one we have the value of y as 3y equals to positive 4, and then we divide by 3 both sides. We have our y to be equal to 4/3, 4 over 3. Okay, and those are the values of y, but we are not done. Remember, we said on top there x is equals to 5 minus 2y. We must use this equation now, our equation 3, to solve for the values of x for these two equations to be true. Okay, remember our x is 5 minus 2y. That's what we're going to use there at the bottom. And we see our x is 5 minus 2y. Okay, and then since our x is 5 minus 2y, for the first solution of y, our x will therefore be 5 minus 2 into 2. Remember, our y is now 2 according to our first value of y. Now, this is just 5 minus 4. The value of x for y equals to 2 is 1. And then, or our x is equals to 5 minus 2 into 4/3. Okay, sorry about that. This should be 4 over 3 that is visible. Okay, and then from here we see the value of x is going to be 2 times 4/3. That is 8 over 3. So we minus 8 over 3 from 5. What we get is we have 5 minus 8 over 3. Write it as all over 3. We say 1, that is here, goes 3 times into 3. So we say 3 times 5, that is 15. Minus 3 goes once, minus 8. The answer should give you 15 minus 8. That should be 7. So you get 7 over 3 as the final answer. So for 7 over 3 as x, your y must be 4 over 3. And this should be the solutions to the given problem. Okay, let's look at the other one. Okay, let's use our recipe again for number 3. It says solve for the values of x and y that will make y minus 3x to be equal to minus 4 and x squared plus x times y to be equal to 24. Again, our target is here. Remember, our target is there, but first let's arrange them so that we don't lose ourselves along the way. We say we're going to write y minus 3x to be equal to minus 4 as our equation 1, and then we write x squared plus xy to be equal to 24 as our second equation. From here, we say from equation 1, okay, from equation 1 we can write our y. We target our 1y to the power of 1. Okay, that one that has just y, we can just target that one and then make that y subject to the formula. We just write y is equals to, we take this negative 3 to the other side. It's going to change the sign. So we're going to have equals to positive 3x minus 4. Because since it's positive, we can write it first. But if it was also if it was going to be negative, we're going to write negative 4 minus 3x is still the same thing. You can write negative 3x first, it's still the same thing, going to produce the same thing. Now we say we want to substitute it. When we see y in equation 2, we want to put this 3x minus 4 in the place of y. So we're going to have x squared. I'm rewriting equation 2 now. I'm here rewriting that equation. We have x squared plus x times y. When we see y, we open brackets, we're going to put something in the place of y, equal sign 24. That's equation 2. Let's replace y with 3x minus 4 because this is our new value of y according to equation number 3. Okay? Now we say we're going to simplify the bracket and write this one as x squared plus, here we have 3x squared, and then we have plus and a minus, that is just minus 4x plus x multiplied by minus 4. Here we have minus 4x. This is equals to 24. But before it's equals to 24, we're going to have a quadratic anyway. We cannot run away from it. Let's just proceed and say we take this 24 to the other side. Okay. Since it's positive 24, we're going to write negative 24 on the other side to be equal to 0. And then we collect like terms. We have 4x squared minus 4x minus 24 to be equal to 0. Okay. I thought we were going to use a quadratic equation on this one, but this one is fairly easy and straightforward. So we can just go ahead and factorize. So we say we divide everything by 4 from this step. So we can have, but if you are comfortable with using the quadratic equation, you can proceed and use the quadratic equation. Okay. Now here we say we divide everything by 4 so that we have x squared minus x minus 24 divided by 4 is 6. This should give us 0. Okay. Now from here we say we open two brackets, equate to 0. We are looking for the factors of 6. When you subtract them, you get 1 there. Okay. Let's look for those factors. That will be 6 and 1, 3 and 2. These are the factors of 6. Which ones from here when we subtract do we get 1? This group here. Okay, so we want to write our x and 3, our x and 2 there. And then the bigger magnitude, since the signs are not the same because of the negative sign, the bigger magnitude receives the sign of the middle term. So 3 will receive the negative sign. Okay, and then we have 2 receiving a positive sign. To test it, you say minus 3 plus 2. That should give you minus 1. Then you are good to go. Okay. And from there, we say for this to be true, we say our x minus 3 is 0 or our x plus 2 is 0. So our x is going to be positive 3 or our x is going to be negative 2. Okay, now for these values of x, what will be the values of y? On top there we said, if you remember very well, we said our y on equation 3 here. We said our y is 3x minus 4. We're going to use this equation there at the bottom. That is 3x minus 4. Our y is 3x minus 4. We're going to use this equation and find the values of y now. That will make those two statements on top for both of them to be correct. Okay, we're going to say for x equals to 3, our y is going to be 3 is 3 and then minus 4. This is 9. 9 minus 4, this is 5. Okay, or we get our y as 3 into minus 2 and then minus 4. Okay, 3 into minus 4, that is minus 6. Minus 6 minus 4, that is minus 10. And this will be the solutions. These 4 solutions will be your solutions. 2 values of x and 2 values of y. When x is minus 2, your y should be minus 10. When x is 3, your y should be 5. Okay, I hope it's clear. Please make sure that you check this checklist. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos. Please comment on the video as well. Comment about the topic that you think I'm going to cover next. Like the video that you are watching and share this video with your friends, please, okay? And here we have number 4 having one of the equations with variables as exponents, okay? Now, how would we target something like this? We can clearly see that from this equation, it's going to be difficult for us to make one of the variables the subject of the formula, since we're going to involve either the square roots or we're going to divide by the other variable. So we don't want that. Let's see if we can figure out this equation, okay? We proceed and say, okay, let's name it equation 1, and let's name this one equation 2, so that we can say from equation 1, what we have is we write 4 in the calculator. 4 is 2 squared, but if you don't know how to get that, you know the calculator shift fact, right? You know the method, you know the way. So we say 4 is 2 squared, everything to the power of x plus 2, right? And then we have multiplied by 8, that is 2 to the power of 3, everything to the power of y plus 1. That should give us 2 is just 2 to the power of 1 minus x. That one we can leave it as it is. And then here we multiply this 2 together with everything that is outside. We multiply this 3 with everything that is outside, okay? So we have 2 to the power of 2x plus 4 multiplied by 2 to the power of 3y plus 3, and this will give us 2 to the power of 1 minus x. From our left hand side, we are multiplying same basis. What we can do is we can add the exponents. So we have 2 to the power of 2x plus 4 plus 3y plus 3. This will give us 2 to the power of 1 minus x. Okay. From here, we proceed and say we have 2 to the power of 2x plus 3y plus 7. This will give us 2 to the power of 1 minus x. Okay. From here, we have two bases, and then we can equate the exponent. This equation, the initial equation here, we have two equations like that, and we can just proceed and equate the exponent and say now our 2x plus 3y plus 7, it will give us 1 minus x. From here, we say 2x minus x goes to the other side, becomes plus x. So it becomes 2x plus x, that is 3x, and then plus 3y, does not have a like term, constant 7 and constant 1, that is positive 7 minus 1, that will be positive 6. This will give you 0. Okay, from here we can divide everything by 3 and get x plus y plus 2. That will give us 0. Okay, from here what we can do is we can make either one subject to the formula. So let's make y subject of the formula of this equation. So we have y, our positive y will be negative x negative 2. We take x plus 2, on the other side we have negative x negative 2. Okay, or we can write it as minus of x plus 2. Why? Because if on the other equation, when you have a square, we can just ignore this negative sign as if it's not there. Okay, the square will remove that negative sign and you are left with x plus 2. Now this is our equation 3. This is our equation 3. Our equation 2 are saying our x squared plus xy plus y squared, that will give us 7. This is our equation 2. Okay, now we're going to substitute our equation 3 into 2. Okay, let's do that. We say when we see y, everywhere where we see y, we put minus of x plus 2. Okay, so we have x squared, no problem, and then we have plus xy. We can write the plus and then replace the y with a negative of that. The other thing that we can do is we can just proceed and say, since the negative is there, it's not going to be removed, the y is not squared, so we just say negative x, and then in place of y we put x plus 2. Okay, this negative x plus 2 is the value of y there, negative x plus 2. Okay, and then we say plus y squared is everything here all squared. Okay, and that will give us nothing but x plus 2 all squared, and this gives us 7. Okay, the negative, where is it? It went away, the square removed it. Okay, now we say we want to break the brackets, collect the like terms, and then solve the problem. So we have here our x squared, we write our x squared, we have our minus x squared minus 2x plus, we have x squared from this bracket, x squared, and then we have plus 2x plus 2x, that is plus 4x plus 4. 2 squared is 4, that will give us 7. Now we have to subtract this 7 from both sides so that we have minus 7 equals to 0. Okay, now let's proceed from here, collect like terms. These two go away, disappear. We have that x squared, this one here, and we have minus 2 plus 4x, that is plus 2x. Okay, and then from here we have positive 4 minus 7. Positive 4 minus 7, that will be minus 3. That should give us 0. Now we are looking for the factors of 3. When we subtract them, we get 2. Those are only 3 and 1. 3 and 1 are factors of 3, and 3 and 1, when you subtract them, you will get 2. So we open the two brackets, we equate to 0. We say we have x and x to get that first x squared. We have 3 and 1 to get this 3, multiplied the 3 and 1 to get this 3. But we have positive 3 minus 1. Remember, the signs are not the same because of the negative sign, and the bigger magnitude receives the sign of the middle term. So 3 will take a positive sign like that. Okay, now we say for this to be true, our x is going to be negative 3, or our x is going to be positive 1. Okay, from here we go again and use our equation 3. That is, equation 3 is y equals to minus of x plus 2, minus of x plus 2. So our y, we remember our y is minus of x plus 2. Okay, from here we proceed and replace x with these two values of x to get the other two values of y. Okay, our y will now be minus of, we open the bracket, we put minus 3, we plus 2. So this is minus 3 plus 2, that is minus 1, multiplied by the negative that is outside, that is nothing but 1. Okay, or you get again your y as minus of 1 plus 2. Remember, now we are using this value of y of x, that is just 1. So we say 1 plus 2, that is 3, and the other value of y will be minus 3. Okay, and these are four solutions that we produced: two values of x and two values of y. Okay, please don't lose marks unnecessarily so. And here is the video that you can refer to if you want to check out how to use the quadratic equation, because we clearly did not use it in this video, and we don't have the more problems that we can use the quadratic equation on to solve. But you can use that video to check the quadratic equation. Okay, now this one will also help you to check how to factorize. It will help you. It will really help you how to factorize using grouping method, and just going straight forward, and when to go straight forward when the coefficient here is 1. Let me show you. The coefficient here is 1, and when it's not 1, the way is grouping, and you can proceed. If this coefficient is not 1, you can proceed and say we're going to use the quadratic equation, or you're going to do the grouping. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Keep well, and please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. Okay, bye.